What's up, everybody out there in the Frontline universe, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review. Guys, we are slowly inching our way back to the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
So we're making it. This was a light week, so we were able to grab it and move forward. So now we're able to move forward with next week's books as soon as we do this review. As a matter of fact, the new books came out today as we're recording this. You're probably seeing this late Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. We are already in the middle of we will already be at that point in the middle of reading our new books, which I'm sure next week it's going to start to get hefty again. But as I mentioned before, we will be making certain cuts. We were going to wait till the new year, but as we are seeing it, these piles are huge. So you guys might notice a few books not here, not there, but we still will read all the physical books, and we will make mention of it maybe on Frontline Live, Dark Avenger Live. This show will always be the bulk of our comics, but we might take a few just so that our review can come out on time. There might be certain books that we don't stick in this review, but like I said, there's Frontline Live, there's Dark Avenger Live, which is Mike and I every week. There is Zone 4, there is a bunch of other videos, there's solo reviews. So there's always a chance that we will review whatever book you guys don't see here. The wonderful thing about this channel is every single book at some point in some shape or form gets covered. Same with us. It'll either be on this show, in its own video, or on a different show that is on this channel. So just look forward to a bunch of reviews in a bunch of different places. It gives you something new when you see us for us to review. Something fun and something new. But that's not for this week. This week we did every single book that was in our haul. Plus somebody actually asked me about Unworthy Thor, which it's in this review. So go ahead, Mike.
All right.
So the books that were really... Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you knew what I meant.
The books that we will be reviewing were released on November 2nd, 2016. The first week of November. All to be thankful
Happy Thanksgiving.
for. I was just thinking that.
Beat it. Oh, yeah, they're all in time. It's all. Did you know that Carvel's making an ice cream turkey cake? I am actually factually thinking about that. Would be so funny for Thanksgiving.
We go there. Yes.
That'd be great for a vlog video. That's for sure.
But review first. Yes. Main importance.
Mayday issue number 1 from Image Comics. I gave that book a shot. It was an interesting book. It's about I don't know. It's like a Bonnie and Clyde feel kind of book where these two people end up assassinating this head from Russia, and apparently they're Russian, I believe, or they were speaking different Russian, and they were in America, and they were doing like a road trip or something, and they get caught up with a group of hippies, and things go awry, so to speak. You've got the agency who's chasing after them, trying to figure out where the guy went because he was taken.
Right.
And we get introduced to the agency at the beginning of the book, and what happens is they get caught, but their car was stolen, and in the car is the corpse of the dead Russian emissary guy. And the police catch the hippies in the car.
Wow.
So it's going to be a really interesting... I liked it. I liked the art. I liked the story.
It sounds a little weird.
I feel like I've read it too long ago and I'm missing certain points, but I would definitely say give Mayday issue 1 a shot. It was really good. I enjoyed the artwork. I enjoyed the banter between the two agents at the beginning of the issue. Definitely come back for issue number 2, and hopefully we'll get the review up around the time I read issue 2 so I don't forget so much of the book. Rom, issue number 4. He gets captured by the army. It was a big old plan for him to infiltrate and basically take out the dire wraiths in that area, so to speak, or the head dire wraith, and to figure out what's going on. This all apparently takes place before Revolution and before the Revolution one-shot. Because by the time we got to the end of this issue, it actually advertises for the Revolution one-shot with Rom, which is where the girl who's infected, she tells him where to go next, and that's the one-shot. And then obviously the one-shot takes place before or during issue number 1. So technically Rom 4 still takes place, and if you look at the cover, it actually says Revolution starts here. It didn't finish beginning yet, which is I kind of gotta say for IDW, I don't know, that was kind of a little boo-boo on your side then, because Revolution's ending this month. We have 3 more books that need to come out. We've got G.I. Joe, which is coming out next week. We've got Transformers, got 1 more out of the 3 books. And then we've got the Revolution book, that's right. So, and we have a Transformer book this week. There were 3 Transformer books. We did 1. We'll be doing 1 this episode, and there's a Transformer one sometime in the month of November. And issue 5 of Revolution. Then we go into Revolutionaries in
Oh, I didn't know that.
December. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
one book a month though. After that.
Okay. So
remember,
it's
that's
just,
what we're getting physically.
Yeah. That's what I.
So
remember.
I don't know. I kind of feel bad that Rom, they kind of dropped the ball with Rom because we know what's already happening. So I'm reading the book, and we find out a little bit more about the die rates, and we find out. Well, no, actually, we found out more in Revolution. But at that point in the story, the girl, the soldier, ends up breaking away from Rom. She wants to go fight the battle, on her own. So her and Rom go separate ways. Rom stays with the infected girl because she says, when I turn, I want you to take me out. What we do find out about the infected girl is that the die wraith inside of her is getting stronger. So it's only a matter of time before it breaks free unless they find a cure for her. She's going to turn, and that's where Rom is going to, unfortunately, have to end her. The next issue, however, the way this issue ends, it ends with a setup for the story after Revolution. So I guess there is a plus to this. After Revolution, Rom is going to have backup. It looks like there are other Roms that have just landed on Earth. So to be continued with Rom issue 5, and that I guess will be moving Rom away from the events and now into his own story. And we'll see how that goes. Well, I'll continue it and I'll see what's going on with that. Now, this book did not come out this week, but
this
it's
came
yours.
out like 2-3 weeks ago, and I don't know how I missed this. And I'm gonna review this on right here with the next issue to do a duo review, and that is Ghostbusters International issue number 10, where they are now going to be going to Iceland to find out more about the investigation of what happened to Egon. So we have the real Ghostbusters Egon that is joining their team. And we find out more information about this ghost. Like, he appears more in this issue. And what they're doing is that they're trying to go after him because there is the book that this demon has that can help bring back Egon.
Right.
So they're going like through this whole thing of trying to get rid of the ghost. And we also get a little bit of Winston, who's feeling like really down, between his marriage that happened that went bad, and then everything that went downhill after that.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him for being depressed.
You kind of feel bad for Winston's character, and then we got other characters who are, more convinced about helping Egon coming back to this universe, and Winter gets a little visit from the demon, and let's just say after he chops his neck, he uses his skin. I am not lying. He uses Winter's skin and has the book.
Who's Winter?
Walter Peck's other assistant, Winter, who wanted to buy the Ghostbusters.
Right. Good, so he's gone.
Well, I don't know. I mean, hopefully, because I didn't like him, and I'm like saying, why couldn't you do it to Walter Peck? Why did you have to let him?
Walter Peck is.
I know. I just don't like Walter Peck. I hate him so much.
Well,
beside the point.
It's the way it is.
The next issue set to be concluded.
Probably the story arc.
Hopefully a story arc and not the comic book.
Don't freak out so much. I think I saw them. We are going to be doing our previews video sometime.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they continue with Ghostbusters International because I'm really enjoying it. I just, for some reason, missed it. I didn't know how that happened. But a really great book. You guys should check it out. Now we're going to be focusing on the November 2nd books. Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, issue number 2. Snake Plissken and... Oh, wow. Why did his name, Barton, the one from Big Trouble in Little China? Yeah, oh, God. Why did I forget his character?
Wow, man.
I don't know.
Anyway,
but anyway, yeah. They're still indifferent with each other because, they look the same because it's played by the same character, Kurt Russell, from the movies.
Oh, yeah.
But they're going on this mission where... Barton is used as Snake Plissken.
Kurt Barton? No,
not Kurt Barton. No, I think it was John or something. But they're on this mission, and both of them, are like...
We're gonna write names down and put it on our hand, so we're gonna have our hand down here. And
yeah.
We're like, yeah, Barton.
But
Barton.
But Snake Plissken, he doesn't like that. He's like saying that, oh, you're not a copy of me because you're just like, jumping into this universe and everything. And they were about to actually fight with each other. But from Big Trouble in Little China, Lopan, he actually appears in this issue. And let's just say he made a clone of more than one Snake Plissken's, male, female, beast-like. Of all the Snake Plissken's.
Oh, I'm getting tired.
So not only are they going to have to, like fight each other, but they're gonna have to learn to get along with this whole thing that's going on. But really great book. This book, I am not lying to you. This is the cover of this issue of Faith, issue number 5, as you can see with that.
Yeah. I think that's the cover to issue 5.
Yeah, that's the cover.
Maybe it's one of the covers.
I don't know. I saw that cover.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, so there's 2 stories. In the first story, we have Faith, who is going through like this whole thing of the costume change. Of course, she stayed in her original attire costume. So we get introduced to this new character of this girl who has demonic powers from a talking cat, actually, a black talking cat. Seriously.
Right, give me a second. I'll be right
that
back.
remind me of Salem, from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So he actually possesses her to use all these magic powers to use for the bad, of course. And, the cat gets to her head, and then everything else happens. And then Faith actually meets up with her at the end of this issue. And then let's just say that there's going to be a fight scene between both of them in the next issue. So I thought that was good. And then the second story is just the whole thing about the presidential debate that was going on with a ding in the background of Hillary Clinton that she met up with, and just trying to save Town Hall from these people who were gonna try to ruin the White House and everything. And then that's really the whole basics of that story. So if you want to check that out and read that, that's up to you guys. But I thought Faith issue number 5 was an interesting issue of that. This one's a new number 1. Flash Gordon King's Cross, issue number 1. Now, Flash Gordon was the people who had 3 teams. There was Flash Gordon, there was a doctor, and the girl assistant, who Flash Gordon sort of fell in love with, but then had their little indifference. So it talks about the 2 people who appeared in the issues. I believe they were called the Falcons or something, or it was like a really long name. And we get introduced to them with them using magic spells. It's really weird how I read these issues that have magic spells. It's like really weird. And then we learn about their character. So as they meet up with the doctor, they ask what he wants. We have Flash Gordon who comes in and shows his moves off and everything else. But Emperor Ming looks like he's going to be reappearing in this comic book. And the way things are going for that, things aren't going to look good for the team of Flash Gordon. So that's going to be really something else to check out. But it was a little bit difficult to read because it was like heavy dialogue a little bit and all over the place. But as I re-looked at it, it looked actually really interesting. Also another issue number 1 that I read this week from our good friend Patrick Sham from Zenoscope. Hellchild The Unholy, issue number 1. This is a mini-series, and this is going to be in 5 parts.
Most of everything from Zenoscope, except for when Grim Fairy Tale starts up again, is a mini-series, technically. Wonderland and Grim Fairy Tales are the only 2 ongoings.
Well, Wonderland ended.
And Wonderland's over too, so right now... And also, Grim Tales of Terror, technically...
Well, Grim Fairy Tales...
is coming back next month.
Yeah, and then Wonderland, I don't know about that. And Tales of Terror is one of my favorite books. But going into Hellchild, like, this is a story about Angelica's story, who is the daughter of Hades. She first starts off where she goes into a wrestling match with somebody, and then we find out that there are people who wanted her to lose, and then she fights off against people. And this one woman that actually saves her, Jezebel, I'm gonna say that's the name, actually comes in to save her from when a lot of people were attacking her, after the match and everything. And they look like they're going to be in cahoots with each other.
Cahoots?
Of teaming up with each other. But Angelica's character is, like, really interesting that I read about. I like to actually read about her character because even though I read about her in the other previous story arc of her character, it's good that I get more in-depth about it. Yeah, cahoots with her and Jezebel. I'm pretty sure her name is Jezebel. And I'm going to be looking forward to seeing how both of them are going to be teaming up as the dynamic duo, if that's what they call 2 people working together. This one I reviewed on Comic Frontline, Sonic Mega Drive, The Next Level, issue number 1. And basically what this story is, Sonic and his friends, Knuckles, Tails, and Amy are looking for the ancient gears. They collect all the ancient gears. Metal Sonic actually appears in this issue as a debut that takes all the ancient gears, and now that Eggman has them to create something, I just want to show some artwork.
As always, when we have a physical book, we are able to do that.
Of what he wants to do. Now they're going to be going... here we go. I like how every time they met with Dr. Eggman, his plans always fail. Like in the video game of Dr. Eggman. So now it looks like that they're going to be looking for the Chaos Emeralds. And we all know what happens when Sonic finds all the Chaos Emeralds. Supersonic.
Mm-hmm.
And the next issue of The Last is going to be in spring of 2017. I'm guessing it's going to be March or April because this was 4 months.
It's going to probably be
before
March.
Because that's the spring.
It looks like it's doing what Lady Death does. It's a seasonal book every season because now we're in fall officially.
Why do you have to wait? Supersonic.
Because you have Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Universe. And Mega Man's gone because they're making a cartoon.
Why did you remind me?
Because eventually they're going to make a cartoon.
Yeah, but you had to remind me. I told you never to do that.
You have Sonic Boom still if you'd like to read that.
I've dropped that issue a long time ago.
We try not to think about Sonic
We
Boom.
are not going to think about that, especially the video game. Let's get into this one now. The Walking Dead issue number 160, The Whisper Wars, continues. And The Whisper Wars, part 4 or 6, by the way. And
two more parts.
Yeah, 2 more until we end it. And there was like lots of fighting against the Whisperers, including the leader of it that's fighting for Alpha, who they're avenging for. They tried to ask the daughter to go back, and she doesn't. Like, I'll show some artwork here. This is good artwork. And there's just like lots of things that go around with Sophie, I think her name is. Oh, Lydia, that's her name. That they try to X back, and well, let's just say that instead of a boot to the head, it's a boom shot, headshot. Oh, and also I thought you wanted to check this out. Actually, The Walking Dead of Here's Negan is actually going to be
in the Image. We've been reading that.
That's I know, but I just wanted to advertise it.
You read, have you been getting Image Magazine or Image Plus as they call it? There's a 12 part, so 1 year's worth of Image Plus. You get Negan's backstory.
And I gotta admit,
I hope they make a book of that when it's all said and done, so this way we can get it in one book.
And I have to admit, the person that they chose to play Negan on the Walking Dead TV series is really spot on, actually.
Without the cursing, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, they do have the uncensored usually on YouTube, but he's really spot on. I really like his character, even though we all don't like his character and all that, but, this is your book.
You can give me both, because we're going to be talking about both.
But, really great Walking Dead series. Definitely going to check out part 5 after that happened. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Alright, with IDW, we are moving forward with Revolution. Let's start with the one-shot. I knew that one of the Transformer books, at least, was not going to interest me. I thought it was going to be the last one. It wasn't, with Thundercracker.
I was surprised, actually.
This one, however, did. Revolution, Transformers Tillala 1. Main shot or main story character is Windblade. Apparently, one of the Titans. I forgot what his name was. Titan who? Titan. Which Titan was it? Metro Titan was not responding to anyone talking, and he was basically very unresponsive. So they sent her in because she's a Titan speaker, and it turns out that no Titan would speak to anyone except the Prime. So the Prime basically would have to hook himself up to the Titan and basically have his mind kind of melded into the Titan. And apparently, Windblade was willing to take the hit from Metropolis
wrong book.
Optimus, because she didn't want they didn't want to risk losing Optimus. So basically, Windblade sacrificed herself. She gets together with what's his name? Micronus Prime, which is basically the Transformer in the Microverse, and he has a message to send to Prime, but instead he makes her kind of live a little bit in the Microverse, where she's kind of beaten up a bit until she's freed by somebody who's fighting to save the Microverse. She escapes. She wakes up. Micronus does give her a message before she goes back. And she kind of pleads with Optimus that they need to go to the Microverse. They have to save them, that there's trouble, that they're needed, and Ore 13 is what's needed to save them. And Optimus kind of refuses. He says that the Earth, he's not willing to risk the Earth in order to protect the Microverse. And Windblade is very upset about it, but because she is duty bound to do anything for a Prime, she chooses to stay by his side regardless. And Rom actually is listening in. We get to see Rom standing kind of in the corner just listening to everything that's going on. Very interesting, and I'm wondering where this will all play into, I'm guessing, either issue 5 of Revolution or maybe even Transformers Till All Are One, because Till All Are One actually is a new series starting with IDW. Now, I would review Transformers more, but Transformers is one of the most wordy books I've ever seen, and apparently it's been that way.
That's why I said I was shocked that you got it. Actually,
well, it's because it's connected to
Revolution, yeah, which is the next book you're reviewing, issue 4.
So apparently something happened between Revolution 3 and 4.
Is that a wraparound cover?
It is so a wraparound cover.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting all the wraparound covers. I only need issue 5, and then I've got them all.
So
apparently between the last issue and this issue, Rom is no longer arrested. Remember in the last issue he was arrested.
Yeah, I remember.
Apparently that doesn't happen anymore. Mask and G.I. Joe set up to attack the Transformers. Snake Eyes, with some beautiful artwork, infiltrates the Transformers base, which is Metro Titan, and the Micronauts are kind of stuck in the middle of this fight. RC gets involved with the Micronauts fighting Snake Eyes, and she gets into the mix. And then Optimus jumps in and is able to knock out Snake Eyes, and unfortunately the Micronauts as well. I think, and we find out here that Miles from Mask might actually be a Dire-Wraith, because he's communicating with somebody at the beginning of the book. We don't know who that person is. Well, we know who the person is, but it turns out that person is a Dire-Wraith. And in the fight between Mask and what was this Transformer's name? He was in the very beginning of the book. I'm sorry. Well, they did not show his name there, so will they show it here? Victron? But anyway, when Mask decides to fight against Victron, he drops some really serious... Oh, no. Yeah, there was a gigantic fight. This was an awesome splash page. But Miles drops something saying, Transformers think you're the Overlord. No, we're the Overlord. And it looks like he's reaching for the portal. And what happens is the bridge opens up and Baron Karza comes out. And he kind of melds with the Dire-Wraith, the lead Dire-Wraith, and it looks like everybody's in trouble. It looks like Mask and the Transformers and the Micronauts are in a lot of trouble. And that's where you get that last page where Scarlet says, G.I. Joe ain't done yet. I'm really excited to see where this whole thing is going to come to a head and finish, because this is to be concluded in the next issue. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like this series is a bit short. I feel like so much... It's like I don't understand what the conclusion is going to be in the end. Is there going to be a conclusion? Maybe there won't even be a conclusion. Maybe it'll be like an ongoing thing and there'll be another event next year from IDW. I have no clue, but it's kind of vague. Going into the big two now, as somebody asked me, Unworthy Thor issue number 1. I believe this is a miniseries. I think this is a 5 or 6 issue miniseries. But anyway, as you all know, during Original Sin, Thor lost his hammer and became the Unworthy Thor. Now there's a new Thor, but I like how this book connects not only to Original Sin, it connects to Secret Wars. And what happens is it connects to Original Sin because we get to see the Unseen, a.k.a. Nick Fury, who became the new Watcher after he murdered the original Watcher. And what happens is he comes to Thor on the moon, who can't forget the words that Nick Fury said to him, and because of that, he'll forever remain unworthy until he moves past that. So for now, he's kind of stuck as Odin's son, and the Unforeseen, which is Nick Fury, comes to him and says, there's another hammer, connecting to Secret Wars, where, as you guys know, the original Thor leaf dies during Secret Wars, the end of Secret Wars, and his hammer lands on old Asgard. And Unseen tells Thor about it, and Thor goes off to find old Asgard. Now, this book pulls the ending towards the beginning of the book towards the end of either this issue or future issues, because it's right at the point where Thor is fighting all these monsters, and he's so close to the hammer, and he's like, I'm so close, but he's not making it. And, of course, then we go back to a few months prior. I believe it was 2 months prior where he meets the Unseen. He goes off, and then he meets up with Beta Ray Bill, who offers Thor the hammer. Now, we all know he's going to turn Beta Ray Bill down because in the beginning of the book, which is towards the end of, I guess, this miniseries, he was going for the other hammer. So he's going to turn down Beta Ray Bill. But I like how Thor is like, do we know each other, the Unseen? And he's like, no. And then when Thor leaves, he's like, I've seen enough. I know enough about you to know whatever. So I like how they finally put Nick Fury in the book again, or the Unseen as they're calling him now. I don't know. I'm really excited to see where this goes. The artwork's okay. Some pages could have been better some pages were better than others. It could have been a little bit better. But I am eager to see how this miniseries ends, and if Thor does get this hammer, will he become Thor again? Will it be like, because remember that hammer is Ultimate Thor's hammer. Will eventually he get his original hammer back, and maybe the other Thor, oh god, why did her name leave my mind at the moment, get the Ultimate Universe hammer? I don't know, but I feel like so much is happening in Marvel, so much progression, where I feel like either there'll be a reboot or something's going to happen where, like, Thor will get his hammer back, Captain America will forget, he won't be part of Hydra anymore, and we'll get the original Marvel Universe back on track. I feel like so much is changing so drastically and so fast. If anyone who walked away from Marvel, this is just like New 52. If you walked away from reading Marvel 10 years ago and just walk back now, boy, you will be completely lost. You will not understand what is going on. Everywhere you'll wonder where the X-Men are. The universe is so different, it's unrecognizable to anyone who walked away from comics for any less than 10 years ago. If you walked away from comics 10 years ago from Marvel, I would advise slowly getting back into Marvel, because it is a whole different ball game now than what it was 10 years ago. Definitely. Maybe even a little bit further back than that. But all in all, Unworthy Thor, definitely something to check out if you know what's going on with Thor. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was, but I did enjoy it. Mighty Thor, I read casually for the second question, because he asked me about both Thor books. I read Mighty Thor casually, so I don't review it.
Alright. Spider-Woman, issue number 13. In this issue, there is a lot of stuff that happens here, and there's a big, huge thing that happens in this issue. Well, first of all, it just shows, Spider-Woman, doing her thing, saving the day, and also I think the guy Ben, who works with her, is that his name? Because
I think it's Ben.
Yeah. Well, basically, he tells her about these missions and everything, but then he gets into a conversation with Roger. Now, Roger's a very close friend to Spider-Woman, watching her kid and everything else, and as the porcupine, I think, and everything. Let's just say he tells Ben to go hide somewhere, because there's a whole group of the goblins that actually come to see him. Well, not goblins, all the villains, including the goblin. And they basically attack him because they notice that he has not been acting very much like a villain. Because he was a villain in the beginning.
Porcupine, you mean?
Yeah. And now that they've seen him turning into the good side and everything, they actually, or Hobgoblin, I should say, that came in the picture, killed him.
Whoa.
So Ben, seeing this, went to her, and she's wondering where Roger is, and he walked away when he didn't even tell her what happened. So things are gonna hit the fence as the issue continues when Spider-Woman goes after Hobgoblin after that. She is going to murder the Hobgoblin.
No, she won't murder him, but...
Well, not murder, but basically like how she had it with Carol, it's gonna get a lot personal with the Hobgoblin. But wow. And, of course, my book of the week for all 12 issues, cannot believe this is ending, Spidey issue number 12. A full year of Spidey comic books.
Yeah, that's right. It started around this time last year.
All year round. And I have to say, it is strongly recommended, I can't say it enough, you get a trade paperback for all 12 issues.
You can. Yeah.
It was just classic, just like my type of book that I've been looking for read. But going into issue number 12, though. So he's going into the dance with Gwen Stacy, and everything's going fine and everything. And of course, after they went to a cafe, because they weren't really into dancing and everything, his spider sense goes tingling. And his spider sense tingles because not one, but all Sinister Six of the villains go after Spidey. Whoa. In this comic book. And at first he gets like all down and everything, but he remembers from what from people around him, he reminded one thing about himself: to never give up. From what his Uncle Ben said, from what Gwen Stacy said, and everybody around him, to always push himself forward and never give up. To send that message. And he just got back up. He just got them all one by one and just done. And what's really... Oh, and Aunt May also got a job as well, which was in the beginning of the book, which was great.
Hashtag Aunt May got a job.
Yeah, but, after the ending issue, just seeing him with the picture of his Uncle Ben and everything, it's really a heartfelt book. So, I can't express it enough. It's 5 out of 5 throughout the whole entire thing. It's been my comic of the week, actually, from the first issue to now.
Nice.
And I thought not one book would ever hold it all the way through, but this book, trade paperback form, in Deblio.
All right, we got 2 more Marvel books. I got Spider-Man 2099 issue number 17. I don't know where I'm going with this book. I don't know if at some point I'll probably be dropping it. But now that everything's said and done, we're back into, I guess this is after Civil War. Miguel is going after the Fist again. And he gets... he encounters, I should say, or gets jumped by Elektra, who thinks that he's working with the Fist. And it turns out that he's not working. She finds out he's not working with the Fist. And they kind of exchange notes. I like how Roberta's now kind of like his sidekick. A.K.A. Captain America 2099. So he gives Elektra the info he has. She knocks them out. She disappears. But it's not a good idea to do that alone. And you see why towards the end of the issue. Him and Roberta chase after Elektra after they wake up because she knocked them out. And it turns out Elektra goes head on with... apparently Iron Man 2099.
Oh.
Again, connecting to 2099 from Secret Wars. And I like how they also show his girlfriend in this book. Apparently she's waking up from her... Where is it? I could swear... I thought it was earlier. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. But they did have a panel with the girlfriend. I just don't know where that panel... Oh, here we go. There is a panel where... his girlfriend Tempest kind of starts. It's apparent that she's coming out of her coma, which is really cool. But anyway, Spidey and Cap get there just in time. Huge fight. They end up taking down Iron Man. Elektra disappears, and now they're going to be questioning him about the Fist and his connection with them and what's next. Obviously, Elektra's going to be sticking around because she's on the next cover. I don't know. I'm letting this story arc dictate whether I get this physically anymore or digitally. I know a lot of people have dropped Spidey 2099 over the past couple of arcs. This is going to be my last physical arc if it does not conclude in a way, or it doesn't set up, continue the story in a way where I'm enjoying it. I'll possibly still continue reviewing it digitally, but I feel like there's too much going on now with fixing the present so that we can fix the 2099. When you read Spidey 2099, you want to read 2099. You don't want to read Spidey 2099 in current... I don't know. I'm just not digging it as much as I should be or I used to. Champions issue number 2, however, is the complete opposite. I loved this issue. And to sum this entire issue up, what you can, it's campfire time because the entire Champions group is sitting around the campfire, and I love Miss Marvel, because I hate Captain Marvel right now. But she actually sits them down and she's like, we need this because we need to sit down and discuss to each other what powers we have and how we can basically be the best team and be able to know, the best type of ways to team up with both powers. And I really thought that was very smart. So each one of them takes turns, showing off their powers. And then you get to see this moment where Viv and it looks like Nova have a little thing possibly going on. But then what happens is Cyclops jumps into the party and he attacks Hulk because he thinks Hulk is attacking them. And he's like, I want to join, I was hoping that, I want to make a difference like what you guys said, so I kind of would like to join you guys. They thought that the X-Men were attacking them. And they take a vote, and what happens in the end is he ends up as part of the team. So this cover is severely, severely misleading. And he joins the team. He's explaining what he can do. And I'm leaving the ending for right now. But let's just say there is some romance that might be going on. There might be some romance going on after all in Champions. What a funny way to end this issue. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Wow.
This issue is the second time in a row that I say Champions. Champions is a true, really cool way to do a team book. Right now, I know this week also Avengers issue 1 came out. We don't talk about Avengers issue number 1.
That bad.
Yeah. Now, Flintstones issue number 5. I believe this book is going to leave my physical pile, maybe even my reading pile in general. This is and I like how somebody corrected me. It's a very
because you used to like the book.
It's a meta book, though. It deals with a lot of
happened.
Stuff. It's very meta. I was hoping that maybe it would, when you think Flintstones, you think about that funny cartoon. No, this is very much, as the cover says, now they're voting for their next mayor, just like we are voting for our next president. And this is the backstory on why Fred and Barney joined the army. You've got voting going on in Pebble School as well. And it's a back and forth from present to past. And we find out how Barney found Bam Bam. Turns out Bam Bam was one of the tree people who they were fighting's babies. And he took Bam Bam home with him. And him and Betty were having problems way back before Bedrock. They had just gotten together. And she wasn't sure that they were going to be able to stay together because they didn't have any children and he wasn't providing very well. So he finds the baby. The person that sprung this whole conversation on wins as mayor of Bedrock, and you see him bringing Bam Bam back to Betty. Basically, it's a very meta, very it's very social. I don't know. I don't even understand how to explain it. But when I'm reading the Flintstones, I want to think about those funny, like when those aliens attacked.
Oh,
that was a fun issue. This is just very, as somebody said, meta. It's very straightforward, social issues. It's not
I'm just shocked.
that
I never
funny
thought
book. I mean, I'm enjoying Future Quest. It's a really good book. It's a very good meld of Hanna-Barbera stars. This book is very, like, whatever's going on politically, whatever's going on, and the marriage was last issue.
All right.
So I'm going to give
Maybe they want to do real life stuff.
Next month, I'm getting Flintstones physically anyway. Let's see where issue 6 goes, and then maybe issue 7, I'll start on the digital pile again. But I don't know. I'm just not feeling Flintstones as much as I was when it started for some reason. Starting with the last issue with the whole into marriage, and then now we're into voting. Next issue, who knows? So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see where it goes. Shade, the Changing Girl, issue number 2. So Shade, it's basically Shade's first day at school, or the girl she's possessed is now having her return to school, and it turns out that the spirit of the human girl is still out there somewhere, headed towards the the sun. And her first day is very awkward. She doesn't remember anyone because it's Shade. It's not the girl that she's possessed. It's not Megan. So everybody, they think that Megan remembers them, and Shade doesn't because Shade isn't Megan. And there's some controversy. There's some memories that Shade gets as she moves along. But in the end, it's a very awkward kind of first day. And she, we meet her next door neighbor who moved in after Megan went into a coma. He helps Shade get home. We find out that Megan might still be alive, and who knows, maybe she'll come back to fight for her body, so to speak. And Shade is just trying to figure out how to fit in because she wants to experience being a human. It's an interesting book, but I don't know if it's something that I'm going to be willing to dedicate. I'll see where the next issue goes. Like I said, this next month will be the conjoining covers, which we will be getting from Midtown, so we do have a couple more things to get from Midtown next month. But we'll see where Shade goes after that. Maybe I'll move it to a digital pile. Again, Young Animals is a very unique group of books. I believe Mother Mayhem was supposed to come out this week. I guess it came out this Wednesday and not last week because I noticed that we didn't get that. And I know that it was on my order pile. So we'll have to wait and see when we get that. But I think Mother Mayhem might be a little bit more interesting. Shade feels just like Vigilante and Doom Patrol. It's in the DC universe, but it could very well be an independent book because it doesn't reference anything at all going on in the DCU, whereas Mother Mayhem might because it's in Gotham.
Maybe.
Now, you got 2 miniseries that came out this week.
Yes. Death of Hawkman, issue number 2 of 6. Unlike the last issue, this one's not just talking about just one character, Adam Strange, because from what we saw in the last issue, when we left Adam Strange's character, he went back to his hometown, and it was basically on fire. And as it always starts in the beginning with Hawkman and Adam Strange working together to take down the people who were, against them. And, of course, Hawkman, I liked how they said, you have no idea, who I am, because they tried to think that he was just this type of guy could take down easily. And he just had, just saying just surrender now and that's it. While Adam Strange is saving the civilians. Yeah. And here's some artwork that I was wanting to show all of you. So he goes back to find his wife, Alana. And he's saying who would do all these. And she's just saying, Thangar was the one that was doing all this. Basically, she's just trying to tell him that Thangar was, all behind this. And Hawkman was talking with, what was his name? The one that made the law of everything. I'm trying to figure out who it was. But basically, they think that they want to just have vengeance against Thangar for what they did to the city. As Alana's trying to tell them that that's who it is that actually did all this. And it's just a whole bunch of other stuff that's happening. Meanwhile, we have somebody who might be appearing actually in future comic issues. So that builds actually a foreshadow of what's to happen in the future issues. And who possibly might be behind all of this. And he goes off to meet with, what's his name? I think he goes off to meet, what's his name? I'm trying to remember who he said he wanted to go see for some information about something. But, well, basically he goes off to see a friend of his. And, well, let's just say, in a way, it's not in a... let's just say it was an unexpected visit, because, that's how the issue ended there. But, it was, something that I'm definitely going to see for the next issue for that.
I'm just fixing it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Continue.
I know what happened. Midnighter and Apollo, issue 2 of 6, came out this week. Or the week of November 2nd. So we know that Apollo is now in hell, and Midnighter is trying every which way to get him out of there. So he goes off to this person who can help him and everything, and he's just going through every which way, and he does find Apollo, but then 3 days later, there's a bunch of other things that happen with the characters where where Midnight goes off to see Extrano. Have you ever read Midnight and Apollo before?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know Wildstorm.
Well,
characters
basically he goes to meet up with him, and they have a long conversation about that Apollo's soul has traveled. Can you help me out with this? But apparently, not only has Midnighter now have to try to find the souls. This was really graphic of Apollo and hell and what's going on, and things are just gonna say where Midnight just said, you know what, with all this that's going on, I'm finally going to hell to
I think it's over. I think there's one more issue. It says finale.
Is it? No, it's 2 of 6.
Then why did it say? In the back, right here, it says... Oh, Deadly Fit. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it said finale.
I was about to say, wait a minute, we're in issue 2. Where are you going?
I thought it was a 3-parter.
No, it's 6. So, Midnight are now going to hell to save his lover right there. That's really something else over there. So, can't wait to see how that's going to turn out.
Aquaman issue number 10, or should I say Mira issue number 10. We all know what happened to Aquaman at the end of last issue. Well, this issue, the spotlight is on Mira and what will happen if Mira and Aquaman get married. And apparently, if they get married, the deluge will happen and Atlantis will be destroyed. And it's a lot of dialogue and talking about why they cannot accept Mira as, why they can't accept Mira and Aquaman's marriage. So she goes off to try to find Aquaman. She doesn't, but she does find the Joanna, who was the person from the beginning of the issue, who was the security officer. She gets attacked. She ends up fighting against, I forgot what that guy was, but he apparently was looking for Aquaman. And it turns out that Joanna's like, I thought you knew that, and now she's up to date with what's going on with Aquaman. So this is a Mira-heavy book. So basically, they can't get married or won't be accepted in Atlantis because she's going to basically doom all of Atlantis and Aquaman. And she finds out that Aquaman is dying as we speak. So I don't know what's going to happen with Aquaman, but I'm going to give it till the end of the year. And Aquaman probably will move to a digital pile just because it's fun to read, but I'm not really as into it I don't know. You guys will see, as I said, you guys will see what moves where as we move into the coming year. Because we are set till December. After December is where things change.
Yeah, if you thought that book was something else.
Oh, I figure this book is going to be a drop.
Harley Quinn issue number 7 was my worst book this week.
Is it drop worthy yet?
I don't know how long we have to deal with the whole, let me just explain what the story's about, because maybe it might interest you, I don't know. But Harley Quinn is still going as a rock star and everything, because she's, wanting everything, and she's in a club. Now, the club that we find out that, and the guy with the
Red Tool.
Arm, Red Tool, he's still having trouble with his arms and everything, about having out of controlness and whatnot. So we actually meet up with this character, who is the Penguin. And the Penguin, seeing on the cameras that Harley Quinn is in his club, he goes to Billy Blood and said that this Harley Quinn character, he's not really a fan of Harley Quinn. He's just saying, she was in the Arkham Asylum and everything, and she just said, basically, I want you to kill her. Plain and simple. And then it just goes into lots of other heavy dialogue stuff with this egg yolk-like character. I really just don't remember. I know, I was laughing too. It's funny, really. And then Billy Blood meets up with Harley Quinn. She gets out of the whole thing, meets up with the Penguin. And the Penguin and him have a very, very long talk that bored the living hell out of me. And after just reading this, I just was like, I don't know if my head hurt because of the book or because of just the story altogether. I do not know. So,
fair.
I am going to see how long this undercover punk star rocker thing is going to keep going on, but I don't know. If this book is going to continue to go south, then I'm going to say head south and goodbye to the issue.
It's
if
fair.
if
It's
it
fair.
keeps going, because
It's
I don't know what that issue or the series altogether.
Justice League issue number 8. Okay, so the Justice League has faced the Kindred. The Justice League has faced something that's changed their personality. So what more could Brian Hitch do to the Justice League? Well, apparently, in this new story arc called Outbreak, which apparently I guess we're not leaving the trope of the Earth gets attacked, the Justice League has to fight it. Then we get the Justice League, the Earth is attacked, the Justice League gets infected, and now they have to deal with things in the aftermath. Now we're dealing with apparently an alien computer virus. Because apparently somehow Vic, a.k.a. Cyborg, ends up seeing this hidden code in some news on some news channel or news broadcast, and he gets infected. And because he's in the Watchtower, he's able to affect Batman's computers, and Batman ends up having to fight off against all of his cars, boats, and vehicles, and basically, let's just say all hell breaks loose in the Batcave. And it's Batman and Alfred versus all the tech, and Vic has to escape the Watchtower, which goes crashing down towards Earth, and Batman's fighting against the Batmobile, the dinosaur, everything that's going on. This book is heavy on just Cyborg and Batman. It's a back and forth between Batman trying to survive the Batcave and Vic trying to contact the Justice League to stop the Watchtower. And what happens is Vic is still infected, and he's able to infect Green Lantern's ring when the Justice League finally get together with Cyborg. And yeah, things don't look good. So we went from an alien threat to another alien threat that's screwed with the Justice League's personalities to now a computer virus that's screwing with the Batcave and Cyborg. Are you seeing a trend here? This does not feel like Justice League. This feels like if you were going to do Justice League, like the main Justice League book, and then this was like a side book for other things going on with Justice League, this should be the JLA book. And instead of getting another team together for Justice League of America, which is coming out sometime next year, you guys should be, this should be it, and you should have the main Justice League team dealing with something else. I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling Justice League. I really am not. And it's sad, and because this is, supposedly this was the flagship for the New 52, and now it's kind of taking a backseat to Rebirth, and it's the book is not, it doesn't feel like the Justice League to me. And this is why I think after this story arc, I'll probably more than likely be done with Justice League, because it's just not doing it for me. The stories feel very, what villain can we copy and paste into a situation that we've done already twice? So I don't foresee myself sticking with Justice League. Green Lanterns issue 10. Well, the person chasing after the Phantom Ring, whose name left my mind for the moment.
Over there.
I forgot his name. Let's see if it says his name here. No. I don't remember what his name is. But anyway, he causes a distraction. I do like this where Simon actually puts on the Phantom Ring and becomes part of every single one of the Lantern Corps except for the White Lantern Corps. So apparently White Lantern is still unique enough to not be considered part of the Lantern universe or the rainbow colors, so to speak. So it turns out that what's his name, Rami takes back the ring and says it's dangerous. No Lantern should be able to wield it. They get called in because that other guy who wants the Phantom Ring sets a distraction up for Simon and Jessica to go up and help out while he sneaks in and steals the Phantom Ring. He does get the Phantom Ring. Rami tries to stop him. Volthoom shows up and basically stops Rami. And the guy recites a new oath. Yes, that is right. We have a new oath for a new ring bearer. A solo ring, only ring in existence ring bearer. The Phantom Lantern. He becomes the Phantom Lantern, and now he's able to reach into every single one of the Lantern Corps except apparently White. And Jessica and Simon see him flying off, and it looks like Rami's in trouble. It looks like the Phantom Ring is now in the possession of this guy who's wanted a ring all of his life, and it doesn't exactly look like he's the best of people to be a ring bearer, and Volthoom is backing him up, and they have a pact. He promised to help Volthoom do something in order for him to get the ring. So it's going to be interesting to see what the promise he made to Volthoom was, and it's probably involving Rami and the Dominators, but it looks like it's going to be up to Simon and Jessica to stop this guy, the Phantom Lantern, or at least to figure out what side he's on. I mean, he always wanted to be a superhero. Maybe this will be like a twist of fate, and he'll go from being a bad guy to a good guy. Who knows? I mean, look at Kyle Rayner right now. He's doing a great job as a White Lantern. Wish he was green again, but Nightwing issue number 8, the grand finale. Even though it says it does say Rise of Raptor, but this is the finale to Raptor. We get the backstory on Raptor finally. We find out that him and Nightwing's mom had a thing back in the days when they were kids. Not a thing, a romantic thing, but he was very attracted to her and her ways. And even after she ended up marrying, marrying Dick's dad and having Dick, thick, very good.
Mhm.
Having thick. He's still... We're going to have a thick, yeah. He still was watching out for Mary up until, of course, the death. And he blames Bruce Wayne for taking Dick away and changing him and putting Dick in his world instead of where Raptor's world is. I love the fight between Dick and Raptor because Dick finally psychoanalyzes Raptor and kind of throws Raptor off of his game because he's like, you blame yourself for my mom's death and you kind of are upset that I got, I came back and I did better and you know what, you know better than Bruce. He takes him out. He saves Bruce. Raptor is now a prisoner of Spiral. And I love the ending where Dick apologizes to Bruce. He's like, you fell and you almost... And he's like, Dick, I didn't fall. I jumped because I knew you'd be there to catch me. I thought it was a great finale. And the dialogue... I'm not telling you guys the dialogue that went back and forth between Dick and Raptor because you guys just got to read it yourself. But I showed this page already. But this was some of the best... Raptor was always... one step ahead of Dick. And now Dick's like, you know what? You're exactly like Bruce, except you kind of lost your way, and it's too bad we didn't meet earlier because maybe I could have saved you, but you are... He got mad when he said you're exactly like Bruce, basically, except you have your own agenda. I thought it was good. I really like the ending to Raptor, and it's going to be interesting to see where Nightwing goes because now we're done with the court. We're done with Raptor. What's next?
Cyborg, issue number 4.
That's not next.
No, that's not next. That's just the review.
Oh, I know.
So, in Cyborg, now that everything with Kilgore ended, now he's in this dream where he's fighting off against the Justice League, and he learned how to manipulate his dreams, how to not deal with people. So he hears this woman's voice, goes through a maze, and what he goes through in this book is just really just unbelievable, and the doctor is trying to save him from getting out of it. Nice artwork, by the way. And his father, who is, still the real one who is trapped in the lair, he's trying to go there, and they're trying to, and Cyborg's mind just keeps getting, more and more involved, with his family, his ex, and seeing the past and everything, and it's, just getting to him with his mind and all of what's been going on. So, Sarah actually came in and was one, she got a little petrified after he woke up, and after grabbing her, didn't know because he was still in that sleep mode. He goes to her and then says, that he went through his worst about what happened with his ex. And as they were talking, it looks like Sarah and Vic were a thing. Because he was saying, with being such a great person, you deserve somebody, and everything else. And I was saying, wait a minute, there's something going on here. Why would you add that part in it? Because that was going to be there, and I'm oh. Because Vic doesn't remember everything, especially when he was with someone. Because the face that he saw of somebody was no face. Because he doesn't remember who he was with last. That was his true lover, and sure enough, Sarah was the one. And what's her name, oh? This one review for Comic Frontline of Green Arrow, Don't You Dare Say Anything, issue number 10.
Let me see the picture a minute.
Oh, God.
They're under the beach now. Look at the whale. Oh, I like the whales. I will say that.
Oh, you like the whales.
But the book I don't. The whales I do.
And I thought
now they're under the beach.
Person.
Don't get me started with shark covers. Love shark
well, anyway,
covers.
So they're back in Seattle where Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Diggle are on this train, this underground train, and there's a bomb that's actually planted there.
Of course there's a bomb.
So Black Canary and Diggle are going to look into this along with Green Arrow. We have Black Canary, who actually switches from her superhero costume to a regular person because she wants to find out more information about this bomb. So she meets up with this guy named Ammon, who wants to prevent stuff from happening. And then we have John Diggle, who meets up with what's
That's
his
nice.
name?
There's some nice pieces of art in there.
Yeah, Eddie Fires. Yeah, the artwork, I love the artwork in this. And Eddie Fires is the one that planned the bomb and everything, because he wants everything to be, just good and gone. But as he made his disappearance and away and everything, he called it something. Like the Irish goodbye. So like ghosts, when the lights went out and on again. It looks like that Green Arrow and Black Canary, along with John Diggle, is it? Oh no, because John Diggle was out a little bit because of Eddie Fires. Like, he's fine, but I'm just saying, he was just out of it. So this was a really great issue. And no beach stuff happened in this, because this one over here has to always bring up all these innuendos and stuff about Green Arrow. The last two are yours.
Batman issue number 10. Batman infiltrates Bane's domain, or Bane's island. And all he keeps saying over and over again, the only lines you hear Batman say are, Bane, I've come for Psycho Pirate. I need him to save someone who needs to be saved. Turn him over, I go away. Refuse to turn him over, and I will break your back. Your damn back. So basically, Batman's threatening Bane, who broke Batman's back once before, that he's going to break Bane's back. So he lands on the island. He gets the crap beaten out of him. Bane beats him up, but he's no longer addicted to venom, so he's not as strong. So he kind of tries to injure Batman's back without breaking it. And again, Batman is just continually saying the exact same lines. He gets thrown into the prison that Bane was in. He finds a way out. You want to know how? Read the book. There's a lot of internal dialogue. I will say that if you see these little boxes here, these little boxes are internal dialogue. So Batman does end up... One panel that I didn't understand was this panel. I don't understand how that happened, where Batman kind of broke his own back, it looks like, or tried to break his own back. I don't really... Unless he used his knees. I don't know what that panel was all about. But it looked like... I don't know. It looked like he went backwards for some weird reason. But anyway, he's finally able to escape. I don't know. I didn't understand. The whole situation with Batman in the cage was kind of weird to me. I could not understand what he was doing. But he ended up escaping. And it was all a ruse. And it was a ruse to, I guess, have the rest of his team infiltrate, except for Catwoman and Puppet Master, and now he lets them in. And I love how Catwoman's like, so now what? He's like, now we break his damn back, because obviously he didn't give Batman Psycho Pirate, so now he says, well, Bane didn't listen, so now we break his damn back. Mm-hmm. So that was an interesting. I will break your back, Batman. It was an interesting issue, but my book of the week, absolutely.
I knew this was gonna be it.
Of course, had to go to Superman. Issue number 10.
I gotta see
the Suns.
How this
Suns finally meet. So Damian isn't so keen on John. He thinks that John is out of control, that he doesn't have control over his power, so he's a danger to himself and the entire world. And he kidnaps John in order to do some... him and Nobody kidnap John in order to run some tests and to kind of get Superboy, to figure out who Superboy is. And when Batman finds out, he gets pissed off. And even worse, when Superman finds out, he gets even more pissed off. And it just becomes this huge, like, your boy needs to, what was it? Somebody should teach your boy some manners. And then I love how Batman's like, someone should teach yours control. Ooh. And apparently John does get a new power in this book, and that's Ice Breath. So John has developed the ability to do Ice Breath. And it kind of cools everybody off. And Batman kind of... I forget what it was. Superman kind of like just puts Superman back. It makes him step back a bit. And he's like, wow, I'm missing all your first steps. And Batman was like, I missed out on a lot of Damian's first steps, and they were his worst. But what happens in the end is Batman's like, you know what? You tried your way. Let me try my way with my back computer, and maybe we can get, we can figure out what's going on with John. And what happens is, okay, so everything's cooled down finally, but then, unfortunately, Damian, who we all know never knows how to keep his mouth shut, and I know I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Jay, because I know you've wanted this for a very long time. Because everybody hated Damian Smartmouth. Well, everybody out there, guess what? John finally did what all of us wanted to do. Gave Robin a good old punch right in the gut. And what happens is they break out into this huge fight, which was a really... I'm going to hold it back here because you guys got to read this for yourself. But it turns out that the fathers found out. And just like they said, uh-oh. Next issue is all about boot camp. So Damian... I mean, this is obviously playing into Super Sons, which we all know is coming, and I am eagerly awaiting that book, and I am very excited to read that book when it comes out. That, and, well, we got Trinity now, so Super Sons is the last one, and that was promised to us in 2017, and with all the physical books I'm dropping, it'll be perfect. This is a good beginning for Super Sons, in my opinion. Damian is a jerk. No, I can hold it for a bit. Oh. Damian's a jerk, as always. I love the interaction between John and Damian, how you can see that they're, like, worst enemies right now, and obviously you know at some point they're going to become best friends. It's just that, I just feel like that's what's going to happen, because obviously Super Sons. But I like how this issue went. I'm excited to see where the next issue goes. Damian wanting to know more about John and the talk of worry of John's control, really, and the whole Superman, you know, I love how Batman's like, dude, we got to bring him back before, and it's like too late. Here's Superman, and that fight. And I love how Batman has like a kryptonite batarang that he was going to use, and man, this was a good issue. This was really good. I can't wait to see where we go with issue number 11. But anyway, that's it for this review, guys. Feel free to let us know in the comments below what you guys thought of the books that came out this week. Let us know your likes, your dislikes, whether you agree with what we say about our books or disagree. Recommendations are always welcome. But again, remember, we are just two people, and there are a lot of books that we read right now. So if we don't touch on your recommendation right away, doesn't mean we won't at all. It just means it might take us some time before we get to it. But till then, this is Comic Frontline. We are Comic Frontline, and we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. If you haven't already subscribed, hopefully you will. There's a lot of content on this channel. Each and every day there's new content popping up, and you don't want to miss out on it. So if you click that sub button wherever they put it nowadays on YouTube, you won't miss out on a single thing. For more Comic Frontline goodness, go over to comicfrontline.com. If you'd like to see some gameplay, go over to Frontline Gaming Zone. And as always, I have my own personal channel where I do vlogs now. If you want to see what's going on in my life or what he's doing, the VR, that was fun. That's the newest video. You can check that out there. And if you'd like to talk or check out any of our other individual channels, you can go over to Comic Frontline's main channel, and a list of all the channels to everybody involved on Comic Frontline is there. And you can check us all out individually if you'd like as well. Till next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys really soon in the next video.
Hey, everybody.